ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ?
Yes, ma'am, ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
Okay. So,
ma'am,
yeah.
ma'am, whenever we have the greater than or equal to symbol, then we have to subtract the surplus variable, correct? In that situation, we get an artificial variable, right? So that is the
Yes.
same case previous method also.
Yes. In the simplex, what happens is whatever the symbol what you have seen, the less than or equal to, okay, that itself says it comes under the simplex method. There is no question of subtracting or considering the artificial variable. If you have, say, suppose greater than or equal to sign, then I'll tell you what you need to do. Okay, so for today's class I'm not going to confuse you with that. Tomorrow we'll discuss that part also. Okay, say if you have mix of the symbols, one is less than or equal to, the other one is greater than or equal to, and you are asked to solve using the simplex method, and there is a specifically the word simplex method, you need to use it, use the simplex method only. In that case, what you need to do, that we will discuss tomorrow. Okay, but if this is minimization or the maximization, and there is nothing mentioned about you need to use simplex method or big M method, then it is understood that you will have to use the surplus variable, and you need to balance with the artificial variable. Okay, so today we will see how to take the artificial variable into consideration. Okay, so the artificial concept what we are using here today is to get the starting basic feasible solution, so that the simplex method may be adapted as usual until the optimal solution. That is, again you can use the same method or the procedural part. Okay, so you need to subtract s1 and add one artificial variable, and now what you need to take the coefficient and all, we will see that. Okay, coming to the next constraint, that is 3x1 plus 9x2 plus 6x3, again minus next surplus plus next artificial, which is equal to 30, and x1, x2, x3, and the variable whatever you have taken, s1, s2, a1, a2 greater than or equal to 0. Okay, now coming to the first table, that is the initial table. Okay, now this table remains the same, that is you have cj, you have basic variable, you have coefficient of basic variable. Okay, then you need to see what are the coefficient of
We check the objective function to plus 0 s.
function. Yes, the same here. Sorry, first is x1, x2, x3, these are your decision variables. Then what are the next variables are s1, s2, which are the surplus, a1 and a2 are the artificial variable. Now coefficient of the objective function with respect to again the decision variables are 7, 15, 20. Next, for this you need to take 0 s1 plus 0 s2, and for artificial variable you need to consider the maximum. You need to consider the maximum coefficient. So when we say the maximum coefficient, then we always denote that by m a1 plus m a2. So here it is 0, 0, m and m. Okay, this is 0. Okay,
Ma'am, m denotes maximum coefficient, right?
yes.
Okay, ma'am.
And 0. Okay, so please you need to be very please class it. Mummy class it. Mummy class it. I'll ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ ತೊಗೊಂಬ ಸ್ಕೂಲ್ ಹೋಗಿ. Then the solution part ratio as it is. Okay, coming to the basic variables. Here the basic variables are the maximum coefficient variables, that is the artificial variable. So a1 and a2. So what will be the coefficient of a1? M and M. Okay, now coming to the A's, and in the solution part B's. So A11 for first constraint, it is 2, 4, 6. S1 is -1. S2 we don't have 0. A1 is 1 because we have taken M. The coefficient of that M is 1, and A2 we don't have 0. Solution is 24. For the second constraint, 3, 9, 6, 0, -1, 0, 1, 30. Okay, so this is the whatever we have in Z and the constraint equation, that is equalities, that you need to represent in the table. Okay, after that then comes the first calculation part, that is Zj. So what is the equation for the Zj? It is summation of CB into Aij. Okay, so that is this into this plus this into this. Okay, so for first, if you take the calculation part for the first Zj, that is M into 2, 2M plus M into 3, 3M. So if you add 2M plus 3M, it becomes 5M. Yes. Similarly, 4M plus 9M, 13M.
12M.
12M
Minus M.
minus M minus M M
M and N.
M and 54M.
54M. Yeah,
So this
correct.
is, yes, this is first set of calculation. Then you have to see what is Cj minus Zj. That is 7 minus 5M. Keep it as it is, 7 minus 5M. Then you have 15 minus 13M. Then 20 minus 12M. Then 0 minus of minus M is plus M. 0 minus of minus M is plus M. M minus M is 0. M minus M is 0. Is that okay? If this is clear, then you need to see the next part. So far for the maximization, what we have done is in the Cj minus Z, we used to pick the most positive value as to mark for the key column. Now in this case, you need to do ulta. You need to pick the most negative value. Okay. So with respect to M, you need to do that. If you see all this Cj minus Zj, here you have minus M, minus 13M, minus 12M, and these are all positive and zeros. Okay, so out of these, which is the most negative value? Starting from the first one,
Yes, sir.
you have 7 minus 5m, minus 5m, minus 13m, minus 12m, and there is
Minus
no question of minuses here. So out of first
7
three,
minus
which
5.
is the most negative is minus 13m.
correct, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. That. Okay, ma'am.
So please careful. You need to concentrate here. Most negative here is minus 13m. Okay. So this column will be the key column. So mark that key column. Once you get the key column, then you need to fill the ratio. So how to write the ratio column? Solution divided by key column value for that corresponding row. So 4, 6, solution divided by that key column value for that particular row, that is 30 by 9, which is how much? 10 by 3. Now out of these two, which is the minimum value? Out of 6 and 10 by 3.
6, ma'am.
10 by
10 by
3.
No,
3
sir, 10
is
by
the
3, ma'am.
minimum. Okay. So 10 by 3 is the minimum. So you need to mark this row. Okay. So we have got key column and key row, and this is the key value. 9 is
Ma'am,
the key value.
both we are taking it as the minimum value itself, right?
Yes, yes. In the ratio, we need to take the minimum. Every procedure is same except Cj minus Zj.
Okay, ma'am, fine.
Okay. Everything is same.
Okay.
Coming to the next part now. So this is the initial table. So what initial table gives us is the Cj minus Zj values. So all are, if you see, these are nothing but Cj minus Zj are negative values, and those are in terms of, again, the maximum coefficient, that is in terms of m. So you need to go for the next iteration, which we call it as the first iteration, to again see what will be the Cj minus Zj values. So coming to the next table, repeat the table. 1 second, I will just make a adjustment here. Okay. So again, same table, but as the first iteration. So what a first iteration gives us, we will see that. Okay. So again, change over here. X1, X2, X3, A1 and A2. One thing, if you see this table, it says that there is an entry of X2 and there is an exit of A2. Is it so? Some variable is the leaving variable. Say suppose in this case A2 is the leaving variable. You can just have to write it like this, or you may leave it. If you leave it also, it is not a problem. That is, if you don't consider A2 in the next iteration, that is the leaving variable, that is also fine. If you are considering, just have, you will have to put A2. That is it. This shows that A2 is the leaving variable, or it has been exited from the picture. Okay. So you can just write that A2 with the dash, or you can just delete that A2 in the next calculation part or the next iteration part. That is fine. Fine. So that indicates that it is the leaving variable. So here comes the 7 for coefficient of x1, 15, 20, 0, 0, and m. Okay. So here A2 is gone. in the place of A2, what is the variable you need to write? That is x2, and A1 is as it is. Here the CB. So what is the CB values here? For A1 M, x2, what is the x2 value?
15, ma'am.
Very good. So this is 15. Okay. Now you need to fill this table. That is A's you need to think about. Now what we have studied in the simplex method is wherever you have the key value. So using that key value, you can write that particular row where you have the key value. Okay. So you can divide this entire row. Let me just name these as R1, that is row 1, and row 2. You can divide row 2, each element of row 2 by key value, that is 9. Okay. So 3 by 9 is 1 by 3.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is R3 and R4. I am writing for R4, that is row 4. I'll have to complete. Okay. So 9 by 9 is 1. Next, 6 by 9 is 2 by 3.
By 3, 0.
0.
Minus 1 by
Then
9.
Okay, good. Next,
1 by 9, ma'am.
0.
Yeah. Oh,
Minus
sorry.
1 by, yes, A1 is 0. And this will be 1 by 9. If you write it also okay. If you don't write it also, it is okay. 30 by 9 is 10 by 3. Okay. So we are done with this R3, R4. Now coming to the R3.
Ma'am,
Okay.
we should leave it fraction or we can write in decimal also, this one, this
That
values.
is, anything is fine. Anything is fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. What happens here is if you write in the decimals, there is little confusion what I feel. If you are comfortable, you can just write it in the decimals also. Not a problem.
Okay, ma'am. No problem.
Okay. Next comes R3. For row R3, all these are R3 row, what you can see are the new values. Okay. So already we have seen how to calculate the new values in the previous class. That is old value minus
corresponding key column value multiplied by corresponding key row value divided by key value.
Yes, key column value into corresponding
Key row value divided by
key value. Okay. Now, as we are into the next class of the LPP, so I'll make a change here. Like not a change exactly, but what I can do here is this is minus sign, no? Okay. Okay. The same equation, or I can write it in the other way also. That is old value minus corresponding key column value as it is into R4. Now, if you see this, what it indicates?
Yes, ma'am.
Is
Right.
it not? You can
Yes.
just take both the tables and you can just think that whatever R4 you can see, that is nothing but the corresponding key row value divided by key value.
Yes, ma'am. You can write it
This
in
is
other words.
yeah, this is what we have got. Okay. So if you take corresponding key row value for that particular whatever the new value, okay, every time you will see that this particular ratio what you can get, that is the corresponding key row value divided by key value, will be nothing but the result of R4. So I can just simply write old value minus corresponding key column value into R4. That is your new row what you have just calculated. The recent calculation what I can say. Okay. If you have confusion, then you can always go for this. Both the answers will be same.
Ma'am, so we
You
can
can
write this.
first.
So we can write this R1, R2, R3, R4 like even in the
Yeah.
simplex also we can
Yes,
write, right?
yes, yes. You can write. You can write. So for the first value, new value, old value is, if you see the old value, it is
2,
2.
ma'am.
Yeah. Old value is 2 minus corresponding key column value. Corresponding key column value is 4
1/3.
into R4 1/3. I'll show you both the calculations, then you can just see whatever is easy for
2
you,
by
you can
3,
take
ma'am.
it. It is 2/3. Okay. So old value is 2 minus corresponding key column value is 4 into corresponding key row value is how much? 3 divided by key value is 9. So 3 ones are 3 threes are. So it is nothing but 1/3 only, right? So it is 2/3. So this is OR for the first. So first value is, new value is 2/3. Similarly, the second one, old value is 4 minus corresponding key column value. I think it will not change for the entire calculation. So it is always 4
4 is
corresponding key column. Yeah. 4
answer is
into 1 is 0.
0.
Yeah. So the second value is 0. Similarly, third one, old value is 6. Sorry. Yeah, 6 minus corresponding key column doesn't change, that is 4 into R4. That particular R4 is 2/3. So what will be this?
10/3, ma'am.
Yes. This is 10/3. Similarly, the fourth calculation for solution, old value is 24 minus 4 into 10/3. So much is this?
32/3, ma'am.
Yes. That 2/3. This is 32/3. This is 5/3. Similarly, M, and this is 2/3 plus 5. Okay. So as you can see, 2/3 M remains same. You can just have the subtraction between 7 and 5. Okay. So I can write it like this: minus 2/3 times M plus 2. Is that fine?
Correct.
15 minus 15 is 0. Yeah.
So,
And the same thing. Here Nitish. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರ್ತಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡು. Here it is. Okay, next here this also we can write minus 10/3 times M
plus 10, ma'am.
plus, yes, very good, plus 10, because 20 minus 10 will be 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Similarly,
M,
0
like
minus of minus m is plus m. Yes. Here also 4 by 9 m. That is minus 4 by 9 m plus
plus
5
3.
by 3. This is 0. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Now, yes, coming to the conclusion part. Okay. Now, if you see which is the most negative, you need to see with respect to m. The maximum coefficient, what we have considered as m, that is in the big M, you need to always, when you examine the Cj minus Zj, you need to carefully observe it with respect to m only. So the most negative here is
minus 10 by 3 m plus
minus
10.
10 by 3 m
Plus 10.
yes. So this is the key.